Sarah, welcome to India today.
Thank
I
you.
first need to tell you when the trailer dropped, right? Like all of us jumped on it, started watching it. I liked it for two reasons. One is because I felt like, come on, it's such a change of pace for you. It's also so exciting as an actor to try and do something different, right? I mean, who doesn't want to be versatile? And then it's also sort of getting into the space that you're a young actor, you get so much of work, different characters, something in your age, something that's in a different space. But this is where you can sink your teeth into. You literally can sort of time travel, like push yourself. What have you discovered about the craft of acting with Ae Watan Mere Watan?
I think a lot. I think I've been talking about it for a couple of years, but I fully understood the importance of unlearning with this film. I think everything that I knew prior to this, not just about films, but even about myself, need not hold true anymore, you know. A loud, bindas, chaka-chak karne wali ladki, she's no aid to this film. So how to find just much more depth within myself was actually the biggest challenge with a film like this. I think that the character that I've played in Ae Watan Mere Watan embodies just a huge amount of self-conviction, self-belief, self-confidence, and then self-sacrifice. But I think it's all internal. वो जो बोलते हैं ना आँखें बोलती हैं वो बहुत ज़रूरी होता है. And my mom is not just my mom, she's also my biggest critic, and she's also very objective. And she has seen little of the film, and she said, "Ki Sara, this time your eyes are speaking." So I think that for me is the biggest feat as an actor. So I definitely think that I am being presented, not just being presented in a way that I've never been before, but I'm also discovering that during that presentation, I'm realizing that there is so much more in me that I've never tapped into before.
But tell me, are you somebody who's also very ambitious to get roles like these? Because they don't come easy and they don't come often, right?
Yes.
Like it's a once in a lifetime experience and you're only wishing and praying that you get more of that.
100%.
Like, are you somebody who would pick a phone on a producer, you know, there's an audition happening?
100%.
Yeah?
I am not at all afraid of auditioning. I'm not afraid of picking the phone on producers. I started my career like that. I started my career stalking Rohit Shetty, and I would do it all over again. So I definitely think that you should not be afraid to ask for work at any point of time. But I also know that having been an actor now for about 5 years, people have seen your work.
Right.
So ultimately your work has to speak. So now more than a phone call, what needs to happen is my directors and my producers need to watch me in Murder Mubarak and then in Ae Watan and be like, 1 second, who is she? Which is she? And when they cannot find an answer, they should call me and offer me a film. Because she can do both and she can do anything. And she will work day and hard to make sure she does it with conviction. And that's the messaging that needs to go out now.
But that's so exciting, right? I mean, like you started off by saying that loud, over the top, boisterous. You've sort of done that, but that's also an art. It's not.
That is an art,
wrong.
but that is something that I'm not even in Murder Mubarak now.
Right.
So the idea of Murder Mubarak's character being an urban but not very loud girl, urban, lovable, rich, privileged girl, versus somebody that adopts a lifestyle of celibacy and wears only khadi. So. And back to back. I mean, I can just sit at home, not give any of you interviews and just watch these trailers back to back and like a year will go by just out of like celebration on my own. But that won't be the right thing to do, I think.
Absolutely. But can you tell me when that shift happened, when you felt that you had to navigate a bit away from the so-called cliched image that perhaps people were having of you, were speaking in public or in the critical circles or on social media? Did that conscious move happen at any point in time?
No, I don't think so, because I think that is also me.
Correct.
I think that, you know, rubbish shairi that I really enjoy doing for myself will continue.
It's guilty pleasure, by the way.
It's my guilty pleasure,
Yeah.
यार. बाकी सब तो छੱड दो. मुझे मजा आता है करने में, तो करती रहूँगी.
Yeah.
बात सिर्फ ये है कि I feel that maybe because I'm genuinely one of a kind, and I know that now, it's not. People find it difficult to then take me seriously because they're like, oh my God, she's this, she's that. But this is part of who she is.
Correct.
Being an actor is also part of who I am. You see me with my trekking bag in Pahalgam going to Tullian Lake, you won't think I'm an actor. Because I really pride myself in having diverse aspects of my life and personality that don't necessarily see eye to eye with each other.
Right.
I'm an actor, I'm also a trekker. I'm Bambi Todi, I'm also Usha Mehta. I make jokes on Instagram, I'm also a serious actor. And I think that if I can do all, just accept all now, because they're all original. They're all organic. They're all honest. And I think that that's what's going to shift for me this month. Because if people can watch me be funny, be jokey, be sweet, come to an office with like my hair looking like I've had an electric shock, but also look glamorous in Murder Mubarak and do serious work in a film like this, I think maybe they'll see, man, that there's more to her than they've boxed me into.
Absolutely. And there's so much fun in breaking those boxes, right?
I'd like to believe so.
Tell me, how critical are you of your own work?
Too much.
Yeah?
Too much. Yeah, too much.
But then how do you let go? What's the process?
It takes a lot of time. I think that way I'm very lucky to have, honestly, the media is fond of me. They write well about me. You people are always warm when you'll interview me. My audiences, I know for a fact, love me. So I think that really helps, because they are faster at forgiving me.
Right.
After an Atrangi Re, I was forgiven Love Aajkal. It took Zara Hatke Zara Bachke for me to start forgiving myself. So I think I take longer to forgive myself than my audiences take to forgive me. But hopefully with a film like this, there'll be more love from the audience and more forgiveness from myself.
No, but I think Ae Watan Mere Watan also is going to be sort of an exploration for us of you. It's a different facet of yours that we are going to be
It's a
able to
different
see.
facet of me that I've seen.
Right.
And if I have loved it and I'm so critical of myself, that I can just not wait to see how all of you will perceive it.
And do you also like proving the naysayers wrong? Do you have that feeling, oh, you said I couldn't do this, I couldn't play that? I know you don't do it for the sake of that. That's never in your mind when you take on a film. But when that happens by default, when somebody just sits up and be like, dude, did you see her in that scene?
Can I be honest? If my mother and my grandmother say, I've gotten goosebumps looking at you, if I can watch my shot and want to rewind and watch my shot again, both those things are way more powerful than shutting down any naysayers for me.
Yeah, and it should be. I mean, there's nothing above that, right? That's the purest of joy that you could get. You know, when you talk about patriotism, and it's a subject that's so close to all our hearts, right? It's an emotion. You get goosebumps when you're watching certain scenes in theaters. We're living in 2024, but then you time travel. You go to a time when everything was so different, right? There are two ways of looking at these films. One is that there's a jingoism element to it. Everything is loud, over the top. You know, you put somebody down and you put yourself up. But this is not that. This is the exact opposite. The spaces between the silences, in fact, speak so much more than the noise. Was that something refreshing for you to explore?
100%. I think that this is just an inspirational film of a kind that we've never seen before. It's going to keep you engaged. It's going to keep you guessing. It's going to keep you at the edge of your seat throughout. It's a very, very thrilling experience, but it's also an ode to all the unsung heroes of the freedom struggle.
Yeah.
There's so many stories of bravery and sacrifice that we just don't even hear. And I was just writing an Instagram caption about how bravery and sacrifice takes different forms, because I mean it. This is not the story of a man who had a lot of, bicep strength.
Yeah.
This is all a story of a fighter pilot or even an Army Air Force officer. This is the story of a young woman that gave up all comforts, all security of life for the bigger cause. There's a scene in which somebody says कि क्या जो हमारे बीच है ये झूठ है, and she says नहीं सच है, लेकिन छोटा सच, बड़ा सच है देश की आज़ादी. At the age of 22, to have just the sight and the awareness to say that, you know what, this is true. I do love you, I do love my father, I do love my family, but this is bigger. And to have that presence of mind and to be able to back that with the sacrifice that she did, I think it's a story that is even more relevant today than ever before. Our youth needs this. Yeah. Inspirational stories like this are the need of the hour, I feel.
And also what's interesting is it's a chapter that perhaps a lot of us don't know of.
I didn't know, yaar. Yeah. I'm a history student. If I didn't know, what do I expect my friends to know?
Correct. You know, when Zara Bachke did those outstanding numbers, one of the biggest hits, right, on your slate, it's a great thing to have a success. The sweet smell of success is always good. But when films don't work, how do you handle that? Like, do you cry? Do you write down? Do you journal? Do you travel? How does it work?
So, I think Love Aajkal and Coolie together was the only time I've really had to face that. And it took really long. Like I said, it took me years to get over it. I think I'm about just now.
You're too hard on yourself.
No, but it literally, like this time around.
Yeah.
I mean, I've promoted Atrangi, I've promoted Gaslight, I've promoted Zara Hatke, but it's only during these promotions where I finally let it go. Because I realized that that's fully in the past. And I'd learnt from it, but I hadn't fully forgiven myself and moved on, which I've done now. And I have a feeling this is going to be my reward.
Oh, I mean, I'm absolutely stoked and waiting to watch this film because, like I said, it's always nice to get a surprise from an actor because just when you're about to put him or her in a box and be like, okay, safe space,
Yes.
you take that U-turn,
Which
and
is
you
very
surprise
important to somebody
your
like me.
audience.
Which is because I know, see, ultimately I'm a diehard Desi at my core. So a Mukku from Kedarnath or a Rinku from Atrangi or a Soumya from Zara Hatke will strike a chord with you because it is true. It is who I am. But I'm also an English-speaking girl.
Absolutely.
I also believe that there can be glamorous aspects to me. So it's important that a Bambi Toady also resonates with you. I'm also a political science and history major. I also understand the importance of the nation that we belong to. I understand the need to have a voice. I'm a confident girl. I live with a single mother. So those aspects of me also do have to be seen. So it's about time that I embrace who I am, but also tap into aspects of myself that I haven't as yet, and be able to showcase them on the big screen or the small screen or any screen.
Is there a sounding board or a go-to person that perhaps you reach out to when something really interesting comes and you just need like a second op? You're like, I really need to run this through somebody. I'm really excited for it, but do you take second opinions or you just go by gut?
I think mom is a good amount of second opinion, but yeah, so I think it's between me and my
Dad
mom.
lets you be, he's just like, you do your thing, you do you.
He's been an actor. He still is a very busy man. He has his own career to look after. But he does tell me that don't take on anything that doesn't resonate with the heart. So if Ae Watan Mere Watan excites you in your core, you must do it.
Yeah. I
That's
think
what he says.
That's a good thing to go by.